Thank you for listening to Bonus Features episode 43 with Alex and Robert. I'm Alex.
And I'm Robert.
See you guys next time. Wait, why is the intro from episode 43 playing? Where's the rest of the episode?
I don't know. Check the workflow. Where'd it go?
Oh, well, it's gone. Okay, fuck it. We'll just re-record episode 43. Here goes.
All right.
Okay, so welcome to episode 43. Had some technical difficulties. It lost some footage from last time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is episode 43 of Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. Take 2. I'm Alex.
And I'm Robert.
And now we'll go into our 2-minute pointless interlude of sports. Robert is an un-American, horrible piece of shit and doesn't watch the NCAA March Madness tournament. But what a tournament it's been so far. My Final Four is, of course, ruined because I tried to be creative and choose a... See, I had a feeling about Oregon, and my feeling was wrong. Although, I think they lost... I think it was closer than the other game. Michigan got spanked.
Oh, yeah?
By Texas Tech. It was brutal.
Interesting.
I think there's one point where they were on pace to have the game end at like fucking 30-22.
Oof.
It was like
sucks.
No, it was seriously. I think 6 minutes had gone by and the score was like 6-6. It was bad.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
that's no good.
Both teams were playing like garbage, and then Texas Tech finally got it together. Can't say the same about Michigan.
That's no good. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention. I've only been paying attention because of my interest in the NBA. Obviously, Zion Williamson is the biggest prospect coming out of there, and I want him for the Bulls, man.
They had quite a scare.
Yeah, I heard they almost bought it.
Yeah, it was real close game. UCF has this guy Taco Fall. He's 7 foot 6 or something.
My God.
He's he's really tall. He's at least 7'4" or 5" or something like that.
Damn.
But for being that tall, he moves really athletically.
Wow.
So he's not just tall. You know.
Shit.
Yeah, so
I heard it was close.
It was very, very close. I believe it came down to the last basket. I think that was
last couple missed baskets, right? Is what decided
something
it.
Like that. I can't remember exactly what happened. It was just such a frenzy. All I know is that it stood out to me, and that might be one of my favorite games of the tournament so far.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Well, though I am un-American, I will definitely be tuning in for the championship because I usually do.
Yeah, you gotta watch the championship.
Yeah,
when Duke wins it, because now that they've had that scare and they're still here, there's no way they're gonna make that mistake twice. Or at least that's my prediction, and maybe I'll be wrong, but who knows? My bracket is basically ruined because my Final Four, as I said, Oregon out, Michigan out. So my bracket's fucked. Oh well. Let's see, UFC, man. I mean, there's just always fights, matchups that they're making.
Interesting?
Well, let's see. Oh, Kevin Lee says he's moving up to welterweight, which I actually like a lot. Yeah. Because all of a sudden, welterweight's become the more interesting weight division. Because Connor's fake retired or whatever. Right. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. Khabib is still suspended till July, I believe. So, you know what I mean? So, and Tony Ferguson's out, he's dealing with, mental health shit.
Personal stuff.
Yeah. So, that whole division just kind of got dismantled. All the top 3 guys are gone.
Damn.
And I don't know who they're... who would you make the new, championship bout for?
I don't know.
Be Poirier and someone?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could.
Maybe winner of Lee Barboza. Or, sorry, excuse me. Winner of Gaethje Barboza.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That's what's so ridiculous is I wouldn't even be mad if one of those guys was an interim champion until the other 3 guys decide what's going on.
Yeah, until they can get their shit figured out.
Yeah, because that division is so talent stacked. Edson Barboza's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
By the time this podcast is out, it will have happened. Gaethje Barboza
It's going to be crazy.
I love that matchup, but I hate it too because I like both those guys. I think they're both awesome fighters to watch, and I don't know who I want to win.
Well, we'll find out.
I kind of want Barboza to win just a little more, just because Gaethje has fewer losses.
Right.
But Jesus Christ, because you got a dude who's just a kicking expert, and a dude who just chucks knucks and gives no fucks.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be a barn burner of some sort. I have no idea what. That's the other thing. I have no idea what's going to happen. I could give you I can't give you a prediction. I could see Barboza knocking out Gaethje in under a minute. I could see it going the other way. I could see it being a 5-round war. I have zero idea what the fuck's going to happen. It's going to be exciting. That's on regular ESPN.
Okay, so no ESPN Plus.
Yeah. That's all I can think of for now. There was a bunch announced. Shevchenko's fighting in Chicago this summer. That was one of them.
Oh, interesting.
She's fighting Jessica Ai, so she's probably going to... I would say I'd be very shocked if she didn't come out on top.
Yeah.
Shevchenko's just miles above everyone in that division right now. It seems like. I could be wrong, but it just seems that way right now. Yeah, so that's it for MMA. Cubs.
Baseball started.
Yeah, baseball. Oh boy. All right. Well,
the Cubs kicked the crap out of the Rangers.
Yeah.
12-4.
What, Javi had a couple homers?
Javi had 2 home runs. Chris Bryant had a home run. I think everybody got on base in the lineup, in the batting order, which is great. A lot of people are already jumping to conclusions saying, see, our offensive troubles are over. And I'm like, guys, it's one game.
Yeah, it's baseball. One game means very little.
Let's be careful. I was very happy with the outcome. It's great to see Javi in first place in the NL with home runs by 2 home runs, or with 2 home runs rather. But I'm holding off. It's one game, guys. We got 161 more to go. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. And then the Blackhawks are basically out.
Yeah, and the Bulls are vying for that draft pick.
Yeah, go draft pick, go. So I guess that'll do it for sports. Man, playoffs are about to start soon for hockey and basketball, so these segments are going to get long again. Anyway, never mind. So we're actually going to start off with a clip from, technically this episode that survived from last week. So, Shang-Chi has found its director. It's going to be a guy named Destin... Oh, Jesus Christ, sorry.
3 names.
These 3 name fuckers. Sorry. Destin Daniel Cretton.
Yes.
Director of Short Term 12 and Glass Castle.
Yes, he also has another movie coming out.
Both of them, as I recall, both of them had lots of martial arts.
Yes, they do.
Especially Short Term 12.
Yes.
Which is definitely not an indie.
A lot of kids,
drama.
A lot of fighting children in that movie.
Oh, my God. And Glass Castle, yes. It was just, it was like watching a Sui Hark movie. There's just so much fighting in that Glass Castle.
He's got another movie coming out called Just Mercy. It's based on the memoir of Equal Justice Initiative founder Brian Stevenson. It's coming out next year, but it doesn't
lots
sound
of kung fu in there.
Yeah, lots of kung fu. Lots of kung fu courtroom stuff.
And that actually has every type of action in it. It's got gunfights, sword fights, car chases.
Right. So obviously we're jesting. We're joshing,
yes,
if you will.
We're being a little biting. First of all, our thing, the director doesn't matter. I'm starting to walk
Until
back.
it does.
Yeah.
Until it does.
And
sometimes it does.
Yeah. Because Captain Marvel, I think, would have been a better movie with someone who's done action before.
I agree.
Absolutely think it would have been better.
Yes.
And the other thing is, the Russos did... Well, congrats. You found the needle in the haystack.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they did have a couple episodes of Community that had action scenes in them.
That is true.
At the very least.
That is true.
Because I heard it was like the paintball episode.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
Was what caught their attention. Mm-hmm. And TV directors, I think, are more suited anyway for a studio film. Like, what's it? Michelle McLaren. I'm sure she would have been fine for
Patty Jenkins, right?
Thor or whatever. Yeah, Patty Jenkins.
Exactly.
I mean, she also did Monster, which was
its own thing,
a smash hit film as well.
She's done a lot of stuff. But the point is, I completely agree with you in that this is it matters again. It matters until it or it doesn't matter rather until it matters. And I think that in the case of Captain Marvel, it did matter. And I think that the fact that Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, while good directors in their own right, had never really directed an action film before, I think it showed rather evidently in Captain Marvel.
And the other thing is, well, the stunt teams will handle it, but that's only partly true because
if you don't know how to shoot what the stunt teams are doing.
Well, not only that, it just seems like, wouldn't you rather have someone who would put in a stronger collaborative effort with the stunt teams?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, no. We'll design the choreography. That's our thing, says the stunt team. Okay, great. Now, let's take that and let's play around with that. Let's, whatever.
Right. Exactly.
Think it just seems like it makes no sense that you wouldn't have a director. Especially, it's like, Jesus Christ, where do you even start? I'm not saying these guys, but someone along these lines, like, what's his name? Any of the big Hong Kong or Chinese directors would have been awesome. Imagine Sui Hark directing this. You know how fucking psyched I'd be?
John Woo.
The guy who directed motherfucking Twin Dragons and Once Upon a Time in China.
That'd
directing
be wacky,
a Marvel
man.
Movie.
Some Sammo Hung.
Yeah?
There are a lot
he
of
directs?
names.
Like,
Sammo
I'm
Hung?
sure he directs, but...
I think so. I don't know. Like, we're not asking for much. Like, even like a Wilson Yip, where it's like, yeah, maybe just don't let him touch the script. But like, man, does that guy know how to shoot an action scene? And they already have a script. They already have the David Callahan script. He's the gentleman that.
See, that's the thing that's hopefully gonna matter.
Right.
But
right.
even still, it's like you said, it matters or it doesn't matter until it does.
Yeah, and I think it does. I think it did in a few cases. I would say. In Captain Marvel's case, it definitely mattered. I would say in Thor: The Dark World, it mattered. There were a lot of action scenes in there that were fine, but a lot of the other things weren't handled well.
Okay, and even and this is a good point too, is you were saying Anna, whatever the fuck their name, Anna Boden, Ryan Fleck.
Yeah.
You were saying in their own right they're good at what they do normally, and I think that was didn't Shane Black pretty much prove that?
Yeah, that's true.
Like it seemed pretty obvious,
Yeah.
Because he had these ideas. It's like, what if there's this wacky thing?
I don't know.
Well, okay, part of that script as well. But
right.
No, but even still, even in the directing, it just felt like out of place almost.
It felt watered down.
Yeah. And Taika Waititi, he's done some indie stuff, but he's also done...
What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People.
Which there's at least some adventure element and use of locations and things that could carry over to a large concept movie.
Right. And I think the Destin Daniel Cretton thing is interesting only because it's going to be an experiment. And we always say this, like, oh, will Marvel pull it off? Like, I think we saw in the form of Captain Marvel, like, they made money.
Well,
I guess that's what matters.
That's kind of... Okay, but here's the difference. So we're saying Marvel does certain things better than everyone in general. So, let's get like Marvel's thing was, we'll go our way, and then you guys try out whatever.
Right.
So when Universal has a big hit, it's like, what was it? The last couple of Jurassic Park movies, let's say, for example. Oh, yeah, we'll just get this indie guy. But, like, there's no way that those hold up in quality. Like Jurassic World.
Right.
To, like, the best Marvel movies.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's a couple other ones where there's, like, indie directors being hired. Mm-hmm. And you thought, okay, well, at least Marvel does things their way. And they're like, no, let's just do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Because fuck it.
Fox did that. Josh Trank for Fantastic Four.
That, boy.
Even WB's done that, with Jordan Vogt-Roberts directing King Kong.
Or how about, like, even with writing, Chris Terrio, man, it just didn't work.
No, and he's a damn good writer.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, even if you're talented, so I'm imagining this guy's obviously good at his smaller...
Niche,
like indie movies. That's fine, but Jesus Christ, stop trying to scoop these guys up and make them... something that they're not. And you know what? I would love to be wrong.
That's exactly right. Like, we want this movie to be good.
Oh, you don't understand.
This is one of your favorite bread and butter characters.
It's weird. Well, no, it's like how I always use Skynyrd as an example. I'm talking favorite bands. I always say my few obvious ones, and then I always
Batman, Cap, and Wolverine. And
yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. I'm like, oh man, Batman, Cap, Wolverine, Psylocke. Black Canary, fucking, those are my go-tos. But I'm like, what am I talking about? Shang-Chi. So tired of all these people. Man, no one's heard of Shang-Chi. Well, you should, because he's fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude.
It's some of the best comics I've ever read.
It's good shit. And I hope they do it justice. I'll gladly eat crow and I have many times. I'm not beyond it. Like I've done it many times with Marvel.
Okay, but it's kind of like you're as good as your last one.
Yeah. Well,
Captain Marvel was like to me it was just right in the middle in terms of quality.
What will be the last one when Shang-Chi comes out? Will it have been Spider-Man or Black Widow?
I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see. I'm hoping Black Widow is going to be good. We got some news on that later.
Right.
But, the Shang-Chi...
My point is it just seems weird that they've sort of regressed on a way that they go about choosing directors.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Because that was the thing other studios were doing, and it wasn't working out always. In fact, I would say majority of the time... Well, actually, that's not even true. It's not that it wasn't working out, because what the fuck am I talking about? Everything's just about box office, right?
Yeah, but I think you can have best of both, and I think that's what
I mean.
WB's trying with. They're flirting with it, with having a central continuity in the form of your Wonder Woman 84s, your Shazams, your Birds of Prey, but on the side having your Todd Phillips Joker, Matt Reeves the Batman stories, where it's like these don't have to be anything. Who knows what they're going to be, but we'll see if that's fruitful. Makes money.
Honestly, this is a baffling choice.
Yeah,
that's the word I'd use to describe it. It's just extremely surprising that they'd go this route.
Yeah.
So you know what? If Shang-Chi's a good movie and I'll eat crow, great. But just don't make it all this bullshit. Like he has to visit his best friend in fucking like Nebraska, and it's just a boring ass scene where they just sit and talk. The bad guy's like, wait, no, I'm not a bad guy. They all just like do acid and sit around a fire while that like California song is playing from the OC.
Oh God,
California! It's just like that for 2 hours.
It's that, but there's not.
And then at the end, there's just some weird random cutscene. It's just like, I'm Adam Warlock. What the fuck did that have to do with the movie?
It's the OC shit, but without an episode of Smallville after it. So it's like, What the fuck, man? Why am I even sitting through the last 10 minutes of the show?
All right. Yeah. My point is they could have chosen a lot of way cooler choices for director, but I guess it's just not going to fucking matter.
I got to wait for a trailer or casting news for me. Now, as someone who's not as closely attached to the Shang-Chi property and character, I got to hear a little bit more. I'm not confident in the choice, but
I'm just a little uptight.
I feel you.
For Shang-Chi. Also, it's just Captain Marvel, because to me it was a pretty big letdown in a lot of ways. It sort of makes my confidence a little shaky just in the other Marvel movies coming up.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, especially with that slate, definitely not being as strong.
I think it was more the director choice and the written by committee thing. Mm-hmm. That's what I think was the issue.
Yeah, that writer's room thing is
it's
very
like
weird.
9 people or whatever.
It's a lot of people.
I'm just hoping fine, if this guy's the director, great. And if what's his name? The dude who wrote Wonder Woman.
Oh, David Callahan?
Yeah, if that guy's just the writer, great.
Let's do it.
All right, so I'd love to be wrong about this director choice. We'll have to wait and see about Shang-Chi. Moving on to other Disney news, Disney has finally completed their acquisition of Fox. So the Disney-Fox merger is complete. Now, that, of course, excludes local Fox affiliates, some Fox news and sports channels. So, rest in peace movie competition. It was fun while it lasted. So as if Disney didn't own enough, they now own Mickey Mouse and all of his cohorts, Star Wars, Marvel, Avatar, Planet of the Apes,
Alien.
Yeah, so the list.
Die Hard.
Oh, and a little sitcom about a certain cartoon family called The Simpsons.
Also another one called Family Guy. Also another one called Bob's Burgers. Also another one called King of the Hill.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you go through the list of assets, it's ridiculous. It's not just, as I said, it's Fox Searchlight, what's it called? 2000 Fox Films, whatever it's called. The animation studios. So, as we've mentioned before, this kind of sucks, and we're kind of against it.
Yeah, we've talked at length about this on the podcast. We've been following the story ever since it kind of broke late last year. This is an unfortunate time. Not so unfortunate. I mean, you still have studios out there that are, making things that are giving us stuff to talk about, like Sony and your Universals and your Warner Brotherses. But the power that is Disney, it's growing. I saw an article a bit ago, someone kind of relating the Disney Fox combined movie slate for the next year. They called it a Death Star for the movie industry. And they have a pretty crazy release schedule. If you look at all of that combined income, I wonder how that's going to work out. Do you think that that's going to count it's going to have to count, right? If the box office mojo, earnings for Disney, it's all going to be, all that Fox property is going to be theirs. So they're going to have a weird inflated number, right, by the end of the year?
Right, and I think it'll
have an asterisk by it.
Because that's what it is. It's like, I don't know exactly how that works between what executives or producers get what split. Right. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know who's jumping ship over to Disney and who's getting
whacked,
fired.
Which is the other problem with this is 4,000. The numbers fluctuated a bit, but it's between 3,000 and 5,000 people are getting fired, which sucks.
See, that's the part that I thought was kind of shitty about this, is because I figured, I of course had a naive hope that, maybe it'll just mean that it'll be basically the same but just under a new banner, because that does happen a lot of times where it kind of feels like, what's the difference? Mm-hmm. But it seems like there is a difference, and it almost kind of, I don't want to say it confirms this, but it seems that this is imminent, that they're going to continue to focus on the larger scale budget movies. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of sucks, is that I thought getting Fox, they'd maybe think of some middle ground budget movies.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, a lot of projects are up in the air that were previously in development.
Right, that was the other thing, is it's kind of weird to think, well, now that we own you, fuck that one. Not doing it.
Exactly.
It's sure, unfortunate. Yeah, I'm sure things will make a little more sense once we know what they call their new banners. Mm-hmm. For example, if there's a Disney Fox Searchlight or whatever, okay, so we still got some smaller budget, semi-independent type movies there. Right. Or whatever. I mean, I know that they're not just going to do away with adult audience movies. Mm-hmm. What was it called? Miramax or whatever they used to have and then sold. So it's like that. They're not just going to do away with that. Right. But I'm curious to know what exactly that is going to look like.
Where the chips fall.
Well, that's kind of my thing, is how much are they going to... It seems like they're going to be downsizing that, and that they're going to focus on your 16 to 24 demographic kind of. Yeah,
that it does.
So this is... I don't know, it just sucks. It's...
Because we've had problems with Fox. We didn't necessarily like the direction they were taking X-Men.
But that's one franchise.
Right. We've had plenty of critical things to say about their decisions with Fantastic Four and Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, but that doesn't mean I don't think they have a right to exist as a company.
Well, it's more so that it kind of feels like, and this might be jumping the gun since we really don't know entirely how it's going to work out, but it sort of feels like there's fewer takes on something. Mm-hmm. Or you know what I mean? Well, now it's under one banner. It's under Disney. Yeah. It just feels like there's fewer voices.
Yeah, the Disney...
that's what bugs me the most about it, is...
The Disney brand is expanding.
Right, and it's almost... I wouldn't say expanding. It's more like it's engulfing.
Yeah, it's like... it's... Oh, here's a word. It's metastasizing.
Sure.
If you really want to be a dick about it. But, no, I agree. If you're one of those guys that goes to a movie theater and you enjoy seeing a different director's take on something, that's one of the things I loved about Logan was, here's the guy who made the Wolverine, but it's almost as if Fox was saying to him, you know what? No, just make the movie you wanted to make when you came on board to begin with this whole X-Men thing. And he did, and that I could never see a movie like Logan happening under a Disney banner. I don't think it would. They wouldn't like that risk.
Well, it sounds like they're keeping Deadpool. He's surviving, I guess, the real life Thanos snap.
Right. Which is very weird.
Well, but that it's also really easy to keep him because it's like, oh, we're just going to have him say something meta and funny and look at the camera.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, guys, I know you're a little weirded out that I'm with Disney now. And he's going to be like wearing mouse ears and being like, well, the studios just thought it'd be really easier if they just inserted me into this movie. So here I am. And scene. Like, snaps and then goes back to the scene.
Right.
And there's no Thanos, pun intended.
Right. And they're saying 2021 is the earliest we can expect to see any sort of movement on any of these characters, like the X-Men Fox characters.
See, you know what? I'm going to take their word for it, and I think they're definitely going to build that up.
But you wouldn't be surprised if something happened earlier?
Well, think about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There was so much shit surrounding that didn't make sense.
And we got that trailer.
And then it happened. Mm-hmm. But this case is even different because now they actually have them back.
Yep.
There's none of this loaning bullshit or weird stipulations.
Shared rights.
About, oh, you can have Kraven in your universe, but he can't be in ours or whatever bullshit.
Quicksilver.
Look, buddy, I don't care where you go, you just can't sleep here.
That's what's so weird is I forgot. The whole Quicksilver Scarlet Witch disparity's done.
Yeah.
That's it now. There's no confusion over that.
That's true.
They can say mutants now in
Avengers. Right. See,
Mm-hmm.
that's the other thing is they can say mutants. So this just goes back to I kind of wish they had just bought X-Men and maybe Fantastic Four, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I see the advantages and disadvantages of splitting up and divvying up the characters. Mm-hmm. But, well, as we're starting to maybe be a little fatigued by Marvel, I'd almost rather other studios try and attempt something. I don't know.
Something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the movie industry overall, I'd say. Not just even in a superhero stance, but...
No, yeah, yeah, exactly.
The whole brand of Disney in general, people feel that things like Star Wars and, and Marvel and a lot of the other Disney properties they're feeling a bit sanitized and corporatized now, and that's their opinion, but it's not going to get better with this Fox merger.
See, but I think that's what's starting to change. It felt that way from, a little bit from the get-go, but it was good and entertaining enough where I didn't really care.
It's getting worse.
Well, now it's like, see, that's the thing is, to me, formula only bugs me when it's like you get something that's kind of a middling product. Mm-hmm. Like, I get sometimes formulas are just unavoidable.
Right.
Or that it's going to be there a little bit in order to tell a movie that you have a pretty safe bet that you think people will like and will make money.
Right.
But then when it becomes so obvious that that's what you're doing, and then you do get something that's kind of just meh, like kind of in the middle, that's when it does become a problem.
Right.
So we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe X-Men, just because of the nature of X-Men comics and their whole deal, maybe that'll help rejuvenate it. Who knows?
I guess we'll have to wait and see in 2021 or sooner.
Yeah, indeed. So that does it. Disney is taking over the world one company at a time.
Moving on, we have some more Disney-related news.
But this is actually
semi-good news.
Yeah.
Disney reinstates James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. How do you feel about this?
Well, it's one of those things where I'm glad he's back, and I think, he clearly had changed since the time of those, tweets or whatever.
Yeah, it was a bit of an, what do you call it? An overstep, or not overstepping. It was, you didn't need to fire the guy for what happened. Yeah.
Just give him a stern talking to.
Yeah, and it seems as though all is forgiven. And from what we heard, I guess this is something that's been in the works since the announcement that he'd be fired. Ever since the backlash happened towards Disney. There's been talks of him coming back, but
apparently they didn't even really actively search for anyone else.
He didn't, and I guess he technically wasn't even actually technically fired. From what I heard.
Who knows?
But
it's hard to say.
Logistically speaking, this does not mean Suicide Squad is not happening.
Oh yeah, that's the weird part.
He's directing both.
What's weird is I'm sort of more excited for Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. Even though there's a weird part of me that says I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But, well, it's just like Guardians 2 was a huge drop-off from the first one, which we both loved. Mm-hmm. I think Guardians 2 is honestly the worst of all the Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. Him coming back, like, I'm kind of done with Guardians in general. Mm-hmm. So him coming back, it's more like good on them, but I don't know if that really makes me want to see 3. Unless the trailer's real rad or something, or if Nicole Perlman's back writing.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm much more excited for the Suicide Squad just because I've already seen what James Gunn can do with Guardians. I have not seen what he can do with Suicide Squad.
Especially with some of these weird characters they're talking about.
Yeah.
And if he's allowed to make it R-rated.
Yeah.
Get some of his, ridiculous, like, bluer humor.
Yeah, like from Super or from... From, like, what do you call it? Slither or stuff like that.
So imagine that with Polka Dot Man. I think there's a lot more potential there, but again, well, like everything we keep saying, we'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
That's our new but yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. So moving on, more Marvel news. Wahoo! Anyway, so there's another old story that didn't survive. Black Widow movie adds Florence Pugh in an undisclosed main role opposite of Scarlett Johansson.
There are some rumors that this is a villain role.
It's like it's Natasha Romanoff's moral opposite or whatever.
Yeah, but I like this story.
Oh, I'm a big fan of this because I think that's a good pull.
Mm-hmm. Namely because I was looking at some of the people that were involved, or not in talks, but rumored to be involved with this same role, allegedly. Emma Watson was one of them.
Which I could have gone, yeah, that's fine.
That's fine, but I definitely feel more comfortable with this because Florence Pugh is coming. She's coming right off of a movie that was very physical. Fighting with My Family involved a lot of like choreography, and I mean it's a wrestling movie. So and she's a good actress. Like yes, that's important, but she's best of both worlds, where it's that she's not beyond being a physical performer and being a just really good performer.
Right, because it just bugs me when they choose someone who has no like physical background.
Mm-hmm. The most we've seen from Emma Watson is like
especially if they'll have a stunt double who's like half a foot taller.
Right.
Like I can see that's not whoever this is supposed to be. Like sometimes that happens, not always, but yeah, exactly. This seems like a better choice because she does have the experience. And it's not super obvious because sometimes some of these casting choices, it's like, really? Like him again?
It's one of those
or like her again?
It's like one of those that makes sense the more you think about it.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh yeah, she was just on a spy show.
Yeah.
Like Little Drummer Girl. Interesting,
Yeah, so she's up and coming. My guess is she's going to be Yelena Belova.
That'd be really neat.
I can't really think of who else it would be because Black Widow's
Rogues Gallery.
Her specific Rogues Gallery.
Pretty scant.
Yeah, it's not exactly huge. Mm-hmm. And not, like, even within, like, comic book fans, it's not super well known.
Right.
So, Yelena Belova seems like an obvious choice. Or maybe they'll do something like Ghost, and it'll just be sort of like the original, but something different. Who knows?
But this is good news, I'd say. I like her a lot. Everything I've seen from her as an actor is she's definitely got the chops for a role like this, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, and then Kate Shortland's directing.
That I'm also excited for. A weird pull that you wouldn't expect, but makes more sense upon reflection.
Right. And then Ned Benson still doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, and the Jack Schaefer thing also doesn't make sense, but he's rewriting her script. She's going on to be a showrunner for...
Scarlet Witch or something.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch and Vision.
All right. Well, so really the script is the one thing that I guess I'm still hung up on, yeah. But hopefully that'll be put to rest when we see a trailer.
That would be great.
Which I imagine we'll see in...
due time.
Yeah, like probably 9 months from now. End of the year, maybe.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Possibly. We'll God damn it. We'll have to wait and see.
There you go.
Yep, there we go. On to our next story. The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood trailer has been released. So this will be Quentin Tarantino's 9th movie, correct?
It sure will.
Okay. So, again, this is just some... I don't even know. It's like it's sort of based around Manson, right? Mm-hmm. But it seems like it's a bunch of shit.
Yeah, it's revisionist history, so it's based on fictional stuff. They're making a lot of Pulp Fiction comparisons, saying that it's kind of like vignette-y. The trailer looks definitely like a Tarantino movie. It's very kind of set in that world that you kind of just like knew Tarantino would end up making a movie set in anyway, like the 60s, very like SoCal 60s weirdness.
Yeah.
The period looks really good.
I was going to say the set design looks really top notch.
Oh, yeah. Well, and your boy's in it, man.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, Mike Moe is Bruce Lee.
Mike Moe as Bruce Lee.
But it's a fucking good evocation of that man.
I was going to say, I was impressed, and I'm hoping that pays off in dividends when I watch.
Yeah, I like that this trailer isn't it's kind of like a mood piece. It's like, all right, this is the concept of the movie. We're not going to tell you what it's about. We're going to give you a couple hints of like, all right, here's Charlie Manson, here's whatever, but we're not going to really tell you a whole lot about what's going on.
Well, see, I almost prefer trailers like that.
Right.
I mean, well, at least first trailers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm going to be seeing this movie on concept and the cast alone.
See, that's the other thing is bring on the auteur movies, because you can trust based on a trailer. You can get a hunch of what you think this movie is going to be like in a basic sense.
Yeah, you see Tarantino, you see the setting, you see the cast.
Yeah, you got
like, all right,
it's cool. A Tarantino movie about the crazy shit that happened in the 60s.
Yes.
About Hollywood itself, and it's going to have all your big players in it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that's enough to go off of. You don't have to spoon feed me the plot.
Right.
I'm not saying trailers should confuse the shit out of me and leave me with nothing to go on. Mm-hmm. But this seemed like a pretty happy medium.
Well, it's a sliding scale for me too, right? So you get a movie where like Alita, you're like, all right, I'm not sure about this. Give me a little bit more.
Right.
Whereas with this or like a lot of Nolan movies, you're like, just give me a little bit and then we're fine. 'Cause I don't need to see a whole lot because I already know I'm in good hands.
Well, exactly, and that's why they need to bring back auteur directing stuff.
Hell yeah.
Because what's weird too is Quentin Tarantino seems like he's one of the only directors who didn't like get dragged away from his type of style. Mm-hmm. You know, when certain directors, you look at their later stuff and you think that's not really a classic like blank movie.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. But Tarantino, everything about his movies has his,
remain consistent.
Yeah, it's got his fingerprints all over it.
And this looks like it'll be another one of those.
Indeed. So that'll do it for that story. Up next, we've got another story from last week. We will roll the clip. So on to our next story. So our next story is Michael B. Jordan is set to star in a John Vogt-Roberts horror movie. What franchise is this, or what reboot is this?
Damn it, Alex. You messed up another 3 name.
What? Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's Jordan Vogt-Roberts.
Jordan Vogt-Roberts. My God.
But yeah, let me check up on that franchise. So the franchise...
Is it like Hellraiser or Leprechaun or something? It's some horror franchise.
I thought it was some sort of creature feature like maybe like Critters or let's see. Jordan will produce the Untitled Project with Elena Mayo via the duo's banner Outlier Society. Plot details are being kept in the dark, but the project, based on an original idea from Vogt-Roberts...
Sorry, what was that last couple words?
Based on an original idea from Vogt-Roberts.
Oh my God, an original idea! Somebody sound the alarm! Someone quick, get help! I don't know what to do! It's not based off a toy, or a comic, or a book, but I'm freaking out!
There's no protocol in the manual for this! Help!
What do we do? How can I go to a movie if I don't already know the basic plot outline? Help, I'm scared!
How are we supposed to make 4 trailers and 20 TV spots off of this?
Okay, so what we're trying to say is, good on you, original idea. So this is all we know is it's a creature feature.
Set in Detroit.
Yep, that's right.
And that's about it.
And it's got...
Michael B. Jordan.
Solid star.
Jordan Vogt-Roberts. Up-and-coming director, potentially.
Sure.
That's about it.
Yeah, all right, so that's it for news. Actually, that is not it for the news. Alex from another dimension, how fucking dare you. Anyway, we have other stories to attend to. Not many more, but do tell.
Well, we have a trailer for a movie coming out called El Chicano, which is essentially Batman, but Hispanic and in the barrio.
Looks pretty rad, not gonna lie. And it's directed by a guy who's a stunt coordinator.
Right. Produced by Joe Carnahan and Frank Grillo also.
Oh, this just keeps getting better and better.
Right.
This is kind of one of those things where, it's a little lower budget, but it looks fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about its overall like quality of like lighting and
like the color
cinematography.
palette.
Yeah.
It looks really sleek, and I like it a lot.
This proves that you don't need so much budget for, because this is I would say a medium concept.
Yeah. Smaller, but not too small. I mean, it's an action movie, but it's not Alita. You know, it's a vigilante movie. It's on the budget of, forgive me, it's on the budget of like a Peppermint or like a Taken, but it's it's a little bit more higher concept in that he's like Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a ceremonial like Aztec knife he's killing people with, it looks like.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I love movies that are, especially when it comes to like hero stuff. I like stuff about like different cultures, like myths and everything. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll play a pretty interesting role in this.
Got some George Lopez in a serious role.
Yeah, dude. I saw that and I was kind of surprised.
I almost didn't recognize him until I heard him. See him talking, because I was like, oh, that's George Lopez. Yeah,
and it works.
Yeah.
You never know who can pull it off.
Right. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. It looks like it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, so I would suggest people... I don't have a whole ton to say. We said it. It's basically Batman, but in the barrio. And it looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like competently made action scenes.
Yes.
You know what? I'll go off on that tangent for a minute. It's just, it looks better, frankly, some of these action scenes. Now, I haven't seen the whole of them, but it just looks good because they have a guy who's the stunt coordinator directing this.
Yeah, and
so your director cares about how the action looks.
Right, and it doesn't look like Fight Valley. Or what was that one fucking movie that David Leitch was in, the anthology movie?
Oh, it was terrible. I was so disappointed.
We talked about the trailer, but it didn't work out.
It turned out it was terrible. Blood, Sweat, and Terrors.
Yes. So it looks good. Like
there was like 2 shorts out of like 9 that were good.
That's not a good ratio.
No,
but this looks beyond competently made. Like there's a lot of sleek looking cinematography in this, and the fight scenes look really, really like professional.
Yeah. So that's El Chicano. Check out the trailer. It's on YouTube. It looks pretty rad. Okay. For our next story, this is very important news. Scott Stapp has a new album coming out called Space Between the Shadows. It's due in July, although it looks like he'll be skipping over Chicago in his tour. And first of all, rude. Secondly, I know we don't talk about music a lot on here, but we had to because, this is Scott Stapp, lead singer of Creed, the best band of all time.
Creed, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're going to say, Creed sucks, they were cool when I was in 5th grade, bro. Well, you know what? They sold 50,000 albums.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. That's 50 million albums. So if it was just a joke, everyone was playing along.
Creed's that band that everybody liked but doesn't like to admit.
Oh, exactly. And I'll loudly and proudly admit that Creed is the best band of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even up for debate. It's literally like...
God, you can't even get that shit.
I can't even get through that without laughing. But no, I do like Creed, man.
But, oh, man, can you take me higher?
Yeah.
Fucking, oh, man, I can't wait for this.
You're also forgetting the best music video of all time, What If?
From a pretty decent movie.
Exactly.
Was it Scream 3?
Yeah, I think we mentioned this already before, but who cares? I'm going to mention it again, because that's how good Creed is.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Perhaps a Creed reunion is on the horizon.
That would be an event to behold.
Yeah, as we said, we don't always talk music on here, but, Creed's just that important culturally.
It is.
Yeah, and they're just that significant in the world of rock and roll that I had to bring it up.
They're an indelible force.
Indeed. So, again, he'll be skipping Chicago, which is extremely rude.
Damn you, Scott.
Yeah, I hope that's not true, because, maybe they'll add dates. Whatever. So that'll do it. Scott Stapp's new album, The Space Between the Shadows, due out in July. All right, now moving on to our last and probably longest story. So, Apple has just announced a bunch of new things at their big Apple event in the Apple Theater or whatever the fuck it's called. So they're talking about the wallet, the newsstand, and all these other new apps. But that also included updates to Apple TV with their new version of the Apple TV channels and Apple TV Plus. So those apps will be... how the fuck do I describe this?
Well, they're going to be playing digital content from iTunes, Netflix, Stan, Foxtel Now, Hulu, Sling TV, PlayStation Vue, Amazon Prime, DirecTV, YouTube, Redbook TV, Vivo, HBO Now, Showtime, Stars, and TV Everywhere.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. Is the main point is instead of having to log on to your separate accounts for everything, this is just basically like it's obviously a cord-cutting option, but now you don't have to log into 100 different things all at once.
Right.
You can just do it all on Apple TV, which I think is interesting.
It is an interesting idea, and it is an idea not unlike what we mentioned. Like these things are getting all these subscription services are getting out of hand.
Right.
It would be cool to see something that consolidated all of this into at least what do you call it? Like some
like
sort of device.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I have all of these, and I can pay a service charge for these. Whatever.
Exactly. So it's a more feasible way to cut the cord.
Right.
However, the question is,
at what cost?
Yeah. Literally, at what cost will you be paying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the one thing. For example, Hulu TV, if you look at the package, it's not the same thing as cable. You get way fewer channels, and by the time you were to add Showtime and Stars, because you do have that option. Because the way Hulu TV works is it's like a kind of mediocre cable package.
Right.
And I think broadcast. But I don't think that includes sports. And then by the time you do have Showtime and all your packages on there, it basically costs the same as cable. It doesn't really save any money.
Right.
And I'm wondering if this is just going to be the same trickery. Unless you really just only like Showtime and like Netflix or whatever, then you know what? More power to you.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the one thing that I thought was interesting about this whole announcement event, whatever the hell you call it. Song and dance they
showcase.
had. Yeah, showcase. They didn't talk about prices at all. And then they talked about Apple TV Plus, which is, it's basically
their own content service.
Right, except I think the way, see, there's a lot of shit they didn't explain very well. It sounds like you have to have Apple TV, obviously, to have Apple TV Plus. I don't know how well this is going to work.
I don't either, but... yeah, the Apple TV Plus is what really was fascinating to me because we've actually talked about this before. A24 is going to be one of the people working with them in making content available for the Apple TV Plus streaming service.
Oh yeah, they're making stuff.
There's also people involved. Like there was a bunch of like Spielberg was there.
Oprah.
And, Oprah.
I'm like, I don't like where are you guys going with this?
Yeah, it's this was basically like. Apple TV this is Apple declaring war on the streaming service market.
I feel like it's also declaring war on Disney. We can absorb more companies than you.
Yeah, we can put a plus sign at the end of our name too and make a fucking app out of it.
How do you like them apples?
APP-LES.
Yeah.
But this is it's very weird. I imagine like Netflix and Disney and Comcast execs like watching this like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers.
Well, but see, there's some other things that there's one huge stipulation, at least so far, this is the way it works. So, was it the TV channel? First of all, is Apple TV and Apple TV channels, are those separate things or are they synonymous? This is what's pissing me off about this.
Well, it's going to be a digital media player and micro console.
Right, because Apple TV is the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm imagining this
and
box is going to be...
Apple TV channels is the name of the app.
Yeah, so the box will have the capability of both.
Right. So the one thing that is kind of a problem, at least so far, I imagine at some point they'll change this. So... you can access iTunes on it. Right. Wow, what a game changer.
Right.
But the iTunes, by getting this subscription service, you're paying for the TV channels, not for anything. it's not like iTunes has a library of anything like Hulu does.
Right.
So even if, let's say you get because that's the way Hulu TV works, is you also get Hulu's original programming. Mm-hmm. That's not the case here. iTunes doesn't have a library that you'd get for a monthly cost.
Right.
The iTunes stuff,
you have to buy it.
Yeah, it's like that. And again, that's similar to how Xfinity or AT&T works.
Right.
You can,
or Amazon Prime.
That's what I'm saying. You
still have to buy, you still have to rent shit off.
Exactly.
Amazon
like if something just came out, I don't know. Like whenever.
Like Aquaman.
Yeah, like Aquaman, you can't just get that just because you have a subscription.
Right.
Like the closest thing to that is the Marvel movies come out relatively fast on Netflix.
Yeah.
But of course that's no more because Disney
change.
Plus, everything's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I think that ends with It just ended, didn't it?
Yeah. Or I don't know, but
it will be no longer very soon.
Yeah, the point is this kind of just seems like cable just in a different redundant way.
Yeah, a little bit.
We're cutting the cord because fuck cable, and then I'm going to pay the exact same amount.
Yeah.
And we'll have new problems with streaming services.
As The Who said, I already fucked up the quote. Essentially, I'll give you the essence of the quote. Here's the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah.
What's that from?
What's it called? Jesus Christ. Tip my hat to the new Constitution. Won't get fooled again.
Won't get fooled again, thank you. Yeah.
I like how I had to go through the lyrics.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Hold on, tip my hat to the new Constitution. Oh, that's right. They won't get fooled again.
Won't get fooled again.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, doom to doom. Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, doom to do. Yeah, doom to do.
Yeah.
Also used in a classic Simpsons episode.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Tear down the wall from East and West Springfield or whatever.
But no, like that's essentially what I mean is like this is you're cutting your cable and all that, but
it doesn't
changing?
Seem like it's working that well. It doesn't seem like they've figured out a way where it's that much better or saves you that much money. And I feel like whenever one of these weird subscription services does save you a lot of money, let's take an example. Not the same thing, but let's take MoviePass as an example. Mm-hmm. It seemed way too good to be true. And of course it was. The company was operating at a loss, and now they're completely screwed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Apple is not going to be that, careless to have shit like that happen. So in order for that to avoid shit like that, I doubt this is going to be like a better option.
Yeah, I'm doubting it's going to be what people think it exactly is.
Right. And that was the thing, is that even in this whole hour-long presentation thing, ooh, look, it's Sarah Bareilles. How much is it going to cost? Shut the fuck up and listen to her sing.
Yeah.
Sarah Bareilles. Yeah, Bluebird. Sing that one.
Yeah. No, this will be an interesting experiment.
Yeah, it will be.
We'll see what happens. But when's it slated to come out? It's slated to come out.
At least tell us how much Apple Plus costs. If you don't listen to Sarah Bareilles and Oprah, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Yeah, okay, so the regular's out in May, right?
Yes,
and then
that's right.
Plus is out in fall.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's interesting.
I feel like it's one of those things where they have a lot of shit on here all ready to go.
Well, I didn't even mention the sports shit. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
NFL TV, MLB TV, NBA League Pass, NHL TV. So all four of the major North American sports leagues.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. It's similar to Hulu, because I think Hulu has ways to get sports packages too. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, when the costs kind of go like this, you got your cable bundles of whatever, and then you've got your packages, and then it's like, well, this sounds familiar, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. The one thing they're claiming, though, is that this is a la carte.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like that only goes so far. It'd be really interesting, and this is what this might be wishful thinking, and this might be the game changer. What if you're like, well, but I just want Comedy Central and TBS and whatever other channels, and then Showtime.
Right.
Then that would make this interesting if they're going full a la carte.
That would be interesting. That'd be something along the lines of like the VRV or Verve, which is working for them very much so.
but I mean, yeah, I guess but Verve isn't gonna. I'm saying like one channel.
Yeah.
Like Verve is an app, so that's kind of a hard comparison. I'm talking about like TV channels, because that's kind of what it sounded like they were alluding to, but it doesn't seem like they were willing to.
They're not specific enough.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't specific enough, and it's that. I mean, that's just going to make people skeptical, and I'm super skeptical of this Apple TV. It could either be. I feel like it's either. I don't think it's going to be terrible, no matter what, but I think it's just going to either be just any other streaming service, or it's going to be a gigantic game changer if they do the true a la carte, like the one channel at a time thing.
Right. That would be very interesting.
Because that's kind of the thing is, like, generally speaking, most people have about 10 channels they really flip through, and then the rest are just kind of there. But the packages are so big that, and like, you could have 2 channels you like, but they're on separate packages.
Right.
So imagine if you could just pick and choose.
That'd be the day.
That'd be the day. That would be interesting.
So hopefully this ends up being that, but we won't know until May or even beyond that. Fall.
Yeah, I'm doubtful right now because I saw some of the, what was it, the
shows.
Well, no, I saw some of the, what was it, like preview images, and I just kind of felt like this just seems basically the same as anything else.
It's also very weird, like, people are already mentioning this, but Steven Spielberg being involved with Apple TV after he just got off of a campaign to, like, make Netflix not a big deal for the Oscars. It's like, what is your deal,
fuck
man?
Netflix, but Apple's A-okay.
I'm like, oh, okay, so you were just doing an early plug for Apple TV is what you were doing. I don't know. But it was very weird. It was very weird optically speaking.
No, I thought that was weird too. Well, but that keeps happening, and they keep just... all these, streaming services and TV series keep getting big stars, and it's just like, who the fuck knows what movies are gonna like? I feel like we're on the way where movies are gonna become very much not a thing.
It's gonna be like going to the not the theater, going to the theater, going to see a play.
Yeah, because it's like how many productions of whatever the hell are there versus. Well, actually, I don't know. That's a hard question.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying. It's like...
It's scary because as people who are as into movies as we are, like, I don't like the concept of movies going out of style. Now, that doesn't mean, like, I think streaming services...
Yeah, I'm not saying... Yeah.
Oh, man, what do we need to do in order to make both?
How about a happy medium?
Yeah, like, what's the compromise here? What do I have to do?
It's like, I don't want to fucking see Dumbo, but I also don't want to see, like... whatever the fuck these, like, streaming service channel originals are.
Right. You don't want to see fucking Lady and the Tramp on Disney Plus.
No, yeah, I don't want to see either.
Right.
It's just like, how about something sort of in the middle?
Right.
Can we get another Con Air? Any studio out there? Now, I do not mean
a remake.
Or any of that. I'm just saying another something like that. A bunch of convicts on a plane. It didn't cost a lot.
No.
Then you crash it, through the Hard Rock Hotel, and like cool shit happens.
You get John Malkovich's head gets pile drived.
Yeah.
Spoilers. But
right.
Yeah, it's great.
Just something like that. Oh, there's a bunch of whatevers, People are like, you're out of ideas. And it's like, well, have you made a movie about a guy who's a pet kangaroo who's a surgeon and he has to do surgery while he's skydiving? No. Did I just make this up completely right now on the spot? Yes, but at least I'm trying to think of something.
Have you made a movie about Jason Statham and Melissa McCarthy and Tom Green falling from the sky in a garbage truck down the side of Mount Everest?
No.
No, you haven't.
It's like, why not? So someone just go ahead and write that. Like, I don't know. Fuck it. This is just not even fucking trying. Mm-hmm. I'm just sick of that excuse.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
Hopefully this doesn't enable that kind of, buffoonery.
I don't know. Well, yeah, we got way off topic. So Apple.
Yeah.
But do you see any of the trailers for the new shows?
I saw a couple of the images, yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, this looks like the same shit as usual, kind of. Mm-hmm.
I'm very intrigued with A24, because I haven't heard anything from them since that story, and I know they're supremely careful with their content. So I'm very intrigued on that front. Everybody else, I'm like, nah, this just seems like a Netflix thing,
Yeah, I don't know. Well, here's the other thing that I think is weird about the Apple Plus thing. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of stuff ready to go. There was a 10-something series. Mm-hmm. You know, whenever someone else tries this, we're going to have this separate subscription and it's all, you know, our stuff.
Right.
Like DC Universe, when it started, was rather gaunt.
Yeah, it was Titans and the comics and a couple movies.
Yeah, and take away the comics, you barely have anything on there.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of stuff ready to go. And what I think would be real weird is, what if all of it's like terrible? Like not like how we don't like TV. I'm just saying, like, what if it's just generally critically panned?
That'd be pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, because that's like, you're kind of putting a lot of eggs in one basket. I really doubt that's going to be the case, though.
The thing I'll say with Apple TV is at least like they can at least make some of the money off of the Apple TV itself. Like, okay, people are still going to be doing whatever. But for a streaming service like DC Universe, like, could you imagine if all of those shows were panned? Like, that's all they have. Like, they have the movies, a couple of TV shows that, like, Lois and Clark and Smallville or whatever. But, imagine if Titans was, like, as bad as it looked, I guess it's not. But you know what I mean?
Well, but that's also, you're going after a niche audience. Right. Like, an extreme niche audience.
But, like, what I mean is, like, DC Universe doesn't have the whole, like, a la carte, you know, it doesn't have the whole TV, like, you can get Hulu through this, you know, like, that would be much worse for them rather than, I feel like if some of the shit for Apple TV Plus failed, I feel like Apple TV would be okay. Yeah. It would just be, I don't know, because, I mean, even with Netflix, some of the early shows, like Lilyhammer and, like, some of the weird, like, Netflix shows were not great.
Yeah.
And it took a while for a couple of them to catch fire, like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black being the two.
But they've already got, like, big names on this shit already. That's right. That's like
Spielberg and Oprah, and they're just, like, front-loading it all in.
A lot of people are backing this, and I just can't help but get the feeling like this isn't going to be special, and that all these streaming services are going to be, like, hardly better than cable. Like, Warner Media, Netflix, like, they all have their ebbs and flows. And I feel like at the end of the day, they're hardly better than cable.
But I'll definitely hear them out. Like,
for sure.
I'm very interested to see Warner Media's option.
See,
when is that? Like, probably a couple months? Or April, they say the thing was going to be?
Oh, man, I don't know. Is it that soon?
I don't know. I know they have a forthcoming event where they're going to be unveiling their streaming service, which I don't even know if we don't even have a title for it.
Yeah, this is just weird because it's also pretty much all at once.
Yeah.
I mean, it started gradual. Mm-hmm. It started gradual because Netflix was first, and then Hulu, and even Hulu took a long time to catch on like it did. Because do you remember when Hulu first came out?
Yeah,
it's just this thing, and you thought, "Oh, cool, TV on my computer." Fuck commercials.
Yeah, I mean, it's very weird because we've had a lot of interesting tech news in the past 6 months, and like Disney buys Fox, Time Warner buys AT&T, Apple comes out with their own streaming service, Warner Brothers comes out with their own streaming service.
It's all within that span of time, whereas Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime were all relatively, first of all their origins of how they came to be are different.
Fuck, dude. I mean, Netflix that's a 20-year-old company. Remember when that first came out?
It was, you get your DVDs in the mail, and I thought, this is fucking crazy.
Amazon was, am I wrong? Well, it was strictly books, right? At a point in the beginning?
Well, it doesn't matter. The point is they're an online buyer and seller.
Right.
That's what they were.
They evolved into a streaming service.
That's what I'm saying. They all evolved in their own weird way.
Right.
And now we've got, like,
these conglomerates backing into streaming services.
Yeah.
Apple.
Yeah.
Walmart's going to do it.
What?
Walmart is going to have their own streaming service.
Well.
IMDb is streaming. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, I saw. That's actually interesting. IMDb, I saw that. They've got movies on there right now.
Yep.
With commercials. It's kind of like Crackle.
Yeah, it's weird.
Which is like horrible low quality and commercial. Like, I'm talking about that, like pixel quality.
Yeah.
Awful. Mm-hmm. But, if you haven't seen whatever, check it out.
Yeah, or you have, Facebook has got their own shit now. It's not great. Instagram is their own fucking content. And they're toying with it. There was a movie, or I don't know if it was a movie or a short, but they released it in Instagram videos, like parts. So they're toying with all these companies are kind of backing into this whole idea.
But once you
streaming.
turn like 21, that's probably no longer interesting.
Probably.
Just saying.
I would say so too.
I don't know. Well, I feel like that's Vine, which was even worse. It's like once your audience turns 15, they're no longer interested.
Right.
I remember Vine was such a flash in the pan. That's just gone now.
Yeah, man. I kind of miss it a little, but I kind of don't also.
I went on it like 3 or 4 times and thought, this is dumb. Especially it's like all the good ones you can just find in a compilation on YouTube.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Yeah, this is interesting. The times they are a-changing. To quote a song better than I did earlier.
As you pointed out, so if we were to roughly guess, like I don't know the exact timeline. So Netflix is 20 years old. Mm-hmm. Then Hulu came out when? Fuck, I don't know.
It was
like whatever. Let's
recent,
say like
much more recently.
Much more recently.
Like 2010, I thought.
So Amazon Prime was like maybe
2007.
Whatever. Yeah. So that big of a gap, and now as you pointed out, it's just all at once. Mm-hmm. And this shit's about to get crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad I have my physical copies of movies that I really, really like.
We're going to be clutching those in our bunkers, damn it. We have to pry them from our cold, dead hands.
Damn straight. Well, but that's like the thing. It's like if I want to watch something, I want to watch it on my terms, preferably.
Right.
Because, why do I need to get blank? Like, it's always going to be on Netflix. Oh, it just got pulled off. Well, fuck.
What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Where's your God now?
Where's your Wi-Fi God now? Yeah. That's a good question, but yeah, I mean that's how I've always been with the things that I really, really like. Mm-hmm. Like the things that are really classic and super, rewatchable. Things that like hold a special place in your heart, such as Surf Ninjas.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other conversation in and of itself. But I feel like
by the way,
that
is a hard movie to find.
Is it?
Kind of.
Damn.
I mean, it's not expensive, but it's just like.
Well, I mean, that's what it helps because
there's not a lot of copies of it.
No, it helps to have it.
I wonder
why. Feels good. Oh, jeez.
No, true. No.
But the permanence of media is something that I think is going away, and I don't like that personally. And we're old fogies in that regard.
I think it has advantages too.
Oh yeah, because of
like sad movies. I want to fucking watch those again. Like they're really good, but I don't need to fucking see whatever the hell again.
Right.
Like it's like that was depressing as fuck. Like Grave of Fireflies. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy that on DVD and watch it like 10 times. No, thank you. Don't get it twisted. That's probably one of the best animated movies I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But like that's not something I'm gonna rewatch. So I get how like streaming services are like that, or like with TV series, similar concept. I feel like, well, I've already seen Misfits. I remember it. It was good. That's kind of it. I don't really.
Yeah. Like with the sad movies, I end up buying them anyway, but only out of respect. Yeah. Like not in a sense that like I'm gonna watch it often, but like I own Philadelphia. I don't give a fuck. Like it's a good fucking movie. I own fucking Green Mile. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I'm not gonna watch it every day. 3 hours, 3-hour fucking movie. But I love that motherfucking movie, so I own it. But that's going away now, and I think the permanence of media as that fades, we're seeing this sort of this streaming service thing proliferate even beyond what we thought it was before. Like remember 5 years ago we were saying like. These streaming services are getting out of hand. Fucking Yahoo's got their own streaming service now. This is nuts. It's like, wait in 5 years when fucking Facebook's showing TV shows.
Man.
It's getting crazy now. Like we're on full blast with this thing, I feel like. Maybe we're not even. Imagine what 5 years from now will be like. Fuck.
I still though, I just hate the idea that like for example, to take this to the furthest extreme. Oh yeah, we're no longer let's say, Aquaman, no physical copies.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Like, what if you, like, that's not my absolute favorite, but I really liked it. It's like, I would like, that's like a movie you'd rewatch a bunch of times. It's fucking crazy.
Right.
So, that's the thing that that's what would bug me, is if it was trying to phase that shit out. As long as the options are always there, so be it. Like, you know what? And, as you said, like maybe we're a little curmudgeonly and old fogyish, but like I get it. Like VCRs are not common.
No, well, sooner or later
you're not going to find them in stores now.
Right,
I get that.
Sooner or later, there's going to be something that's ridiculous. Like
like
fucking like Geico's going to come out with their own streaming service. Like, you like the Geico commercials?
Oh my God.
Here's your streaming service. But like, they had fucking sold the DVD of all their best commercials. Like, I wouldn't fucking put it past a company that has no business making content. Well,
remember how they kind of did that with the Caveman show?
Well, fuck, sure. It's weird, man.
No, and see, that's kind of what I'm getting at is, if there's something I really like a really good movie, I want to be able to buy it. Mm-hmm. And I hope that doesn't completely go away with streaming. But like, that'd really be annoying. It's like, oh, you got to subscribe to blank to watch this. And that kind of exists to some extent. Because like, you could have Netflix or whatever, and it's like, oh, I want to check out this Titans show. It's like, oh, well, you got to have this. That's like what we've been talking about. The like death by subscription.
Yeah,
you know?
I want to watch. I like Loki a lot. I want to watch the Loki show. Well, you got to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Like, motherfucker.
No, I can't. I can't afford to. I can't fucking afford it, guys.
And it's like, fuck it. I'll just wait till it's out on DVD. Oh no, it's Disney Plus exclusive.
Yeah, they're not making
some
physical
bullshit.
copies of it.
Oh, it's in the vault.
Oh fuck. The fucking Michael Eisner vault.
It's in the vault. And it's like, it's real. We actually drilled a hole to the center of the earth. This is the only metal that the core of the earth can't melt.
We buried it in a fucking volcano.
Yeah, and Gollum is real. He's the guardian of the vault.
Yeah, and the Balrog, too.
And make no mistakes, he'll fuck you up. He'll bite your fingers off if you try and pry into this vault. You think you're Famke Janssen from the core? Don't think so. Man, that was a strange pull. Remember that movie, The Core?
That movie. I know it because is dubbed the most scientifically inaccurate movie ever made.
Yeah. Who else was in that?
Aaron Eckhart?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, if you think you're Aaron Eckhart and Famke Jameson, think again. Gollum will bite your fingers off. All right, so the point is, Apple TV is doing some stuff, and I guess to summarize, since Apple's a gigantic company, like big enough to buy Sony and several other companies, their moves might, make more ripples than perhaps like Hulu or, however long it took Hulu to make ripples and Netflix and all that.
Yeah, Netflix for 20 years it took almost.
So this will be interesting to see how immediate the ripples are.
Yeah, we'll find out soon.
How much difference does this make in the streaming versus cable and all that shit? This will be an interesting development, and we will keep an ear to the ground for more news about this particular topic. So that'll do it for this episode's news portion. And now it's time for our review of Shazam, the latest effort out of the DCEU. And thus far, the quality of the DCEU's films could be summarized by the following. And as that was audio art to represent the chronological order in which these films were released, yes, that extra long one was for Suicide Squad. It was quite a stinker, pun intended. But to be fair, as most people disagree with you and I on Man of Steel, for the average, I would say, movie-going public, it went a little more like this. So what did you think overall of this movie?
I would say that it is, in fact, more of a... as opposed to a... And the reason that we got to see this so early is through Fandango. They were hosting a partnership with DC/Warner Brothers where there was gonna be a screening on one night on a Saturday. I know I don't know how familiar you are with Shazam, but I know I'm not super familiar. I've read issues of comics where he's shown up. I've seen the Superman Shazam animated movie, but I wasn't super well versed in any of the Billy Batson mythos, if you will.
Right. Yeah, see, I knew the basics. He's Shazam. You say the word and he shows up. I'm actually a way bigger fan of the character of Black Adam.
Yeah, that's another interesting one.
Yeah, but I guess we'll get to that later. So, again, I had relatively middle expectations, I guess.
I was looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I thought the trailers looked really fun and really interesting.
No, but I'm just saying in terms of,
the project.
Yeah, or just in general, because I just didn't... Yeah, I'm about on the same page as you.
Right.
So I guess we'll just start with some non-spoilers. So the movie itself, the plot is, for the most part, relatively straightforward, although there is one caveat with that. And I guess that's Dr. Savannah's goals and plans weren't exactly clear. Did you kind of get that vibe? Because it felt like I know a lot of people have said this, and I'd be hard-pressed to disagree with this. It did feel kind of like two movies.
Yeah.
Because there's the main story, which is, of course, about Billy Batson and how he's at the foster home and how his friendship develops with Freddy. And then there's also Dr. Savannah, and at times it kind of felt like that plot was sort of playing second fiddle.
Yeah, I would say overall, while I actually very much so appreciated the tone of this movie, there are certain plot elements, particularly with Dr. Savannah, played by Mark Strong in this, that make the movie feel a little bit different, like a little darker.
Right.
Particularly, again, without spoiling anything, the first scene of this is very different from the movie that we end up getting.
Yeah. Well, okay. I can't even explain, because there's a very quick comparison I'd make to a not good superhero movie. I think you know what I'm talking about. We'll get to that in spoilers later. But the overall idea of a superhero movie plus big worked out pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what was kind of cool about this, where Deadpool is kind of waving at the camera. This is acknowledging the superhero world, but within the parameters of a universe that has other superheroes.
Yeah, it's looking in the direction of the camera, but past the camera. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. And that's what I thought was cool, is it's like, this is an outsider's perspective. In this case, Billy Batson, who's a young kid who lives in a foster home, his perspective of what it's like to be a superhero.
Right. And at this point, we've seen a lot of different kinds of superhero anythings. We've seen Ant-Man, a story about a guy that can get small. He's an ex-con.
Yeah.
We've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, talking raccoons and trees. We've seen Aquaman, Lord of Atlantis. We've seen a lot of different stuff. So now it's all about, well, what else can you show me? What else can you give me that's new? And I feel like Shazam was that, for me, it was that kind of perfect blend of being new, being entertaining, and also being meaningful. Like, I was shocked. I was shocked at how big of a heart this movie had. And
I was gonna say that was another thing that stood out, was the foster parents and the family.
Yeah,
I like that angle. And, I mean, it took a little while for me to warm up to some of the things. Like, some of the characters are a little, annoying at first. But then you realize, that's like a family.
I want to give a big shout out to, for me, in my case, Faith Herman. She played, what's her name? Darla?
Yeah.
The little sister.
She was really good.
What a sweetheart. God damn it. Just great. I mean, as far as kids her age acting go, she did a great job.
Well, that's the thing, is I thought the acting was all around really solid out of pretty much the entire family.
Yeah. Jack Dylan Grazer was great.
Yeah, I mean,
really funny.
That I expected because of his performance in It. The parents were also really solid.
Parents are really good.
Well, it just it felt, it felt realistic,
Yeah, it felt, and I think that's where we get into some of the issues, like you said, where it's two movies.
Yeah.
Where there are elements of it that feel supremely realistic, that family dynamic, the world.
Or I don't know if it's realistic, but it felt more grounded.
Yeah.
Let's just say for the sake of simplicity.
But the Dr. Savannah stuff felt very much like a comic book movie.
Yeah.
It felt, not that the other stuff didn't, but it felt way much more so. Sort of like something you'd see from the early 2000s,
I would say, though, also the foster home angle, that does cause it to start a little slowly, though.
I will give you that.
That's, again, part of the two movie thing, is because you're kind of it's like I always say when I'm watching a movie, there's that, when's he gonna turn into the fucking Hulk? Or when is Chucky gonna fucking kill someone? You're waiting for the big reveal, and that was kind of when's he gonna be a superhero?
I compare this a great deal to Wonder Woman for me. Yeah. Because the first 20 minutes of this and Wonder Woman I found to be nowhere near indicative of the movie you end up getting for the last hour and 10 or so minutes.
I would say that's more so the case here.
Yes,
Wonder Woman didn't bother me. No, because they're on the Amazon island and stuff, so it's a little different.
It's interesting enough, but the movie, there's definitely a point, a half hour in, where you go, okay. Oh, okay, this is the movie I signed up for.
Right. So another thing I want to talk about. So I thought the acting was good. I thought the comedy was mostly hit. But there's a little bit of it that was like, oof, swing and a miss.
I don't know.
A little bit.
Our theater was fucking like, I couldn't even hear certain lines.
Oh,
like
people
it
were
was
howling.
Fucking loud. Like they were howling, and I was a part of it. Like it's not 100% like comedy. Doesn't miss it. Like it does miss from time to time. But
overall, it's more hits than misses.
I would go as far as to say this is the funniest comic book movie I've seen since Thor Ragnarok. Which might not be saying a whole lot, but it's really funny. And there's some sequences.
Well, that's what I mean. There's like superhero movies, they're not usually like the lines that are funnier, even if they're pretty funny. It's like it's not like a typical comedy.
No, but what I was so taken with is like there's a lot of good lines in this. But more so, there's a lot of great sight gags and just great concept things.
And we'll get to that in spoilers.
Yeah, and without spoiling anything, like a lot of the fun and games of Billy Batson and Freddie Freeman, played by Jack Dylan Grazer, like playing with the fact that, Billy's now an adult. That fun and games element was fucking funny as hell. And there's some parts where it was like joke.
I thought,
like, Jesus Christ, this is going.
I honestly thought that was the best part of the movie.
I agree.
Which is weird to say because normally I'm usually not one of those people who's like, it's a different type of superhero movie. I'm usually the one standing in the corner like, yeah, shut the fuck up. When are they going to punch each other?
Right.
And that brings me to actually my biggest problem with this movie. Mm-hmm. The action scenes kind of suck. If I'm being honest, it's that they lack specificity. Like, it doesn't seem like they're storyboarded with as much care as, like, a Winter Soldier fight scene.
Oh, yeah.
Or like even, heaven forbid I say it, like Man of Steel's fights, which I thought were phenomenal.
Yeah, I'd say it's interesting because I think there's one fight in this set piece, I'll call it more like, that I actually really liked, and I won't spoil it, but it's a fight scene between Shazam and somebody, and it's towards the middle of the movie, and I thought it was really funny and fun and interesting, and it was at least there was something. It took place in an interesting setting, but I will agree with you in that there kind of isn't a whole lot of action in this at all, and the appeal of this movie, I would say more so for me, it came from more of a narrative and character based place.
Right. I mean, I understand that, but at the same time, I almost felt like, let's not forget what this is, guys. Mm-hmm. And to me, it just, the action and the way it played out, because it was so generic, they even illustrate how generic it is at one point, and I'll get to that in spoilers, like in a comedic way. There just wasn't any specific moment like, oh yeah, remember that part when like so-and-so punched so-and-so through what? Like, here's a good example. It's like Die Hard. Remember that part where he stepped on all the glass with his broken glass with his bare feet? Mm-hmm. Because they thought, yeah, we could show a guy running, jumping, and shooting, but let's show him running, jumping, and shooting when his feet are bleeding.
Right,
because now it's even harder. The shitstorm that he has to deal with is even worse. Mm-hmm. You know, that's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Or like The Night Becomes Us, which is a terrible movie, but awesome fight scenes. Like, the fight scenes were like, let's just basically go through the encyclopedia of every strike and like joint lock that you could imagine.
Right.
This just felt like punch, not even a big impact of smash. Mm-hmm. Just like, ooh, we're tussling. Felt like one of those PG movie fights. Mm-hmm. Like the fights, honestly, and there's one in particular that I couldn't help but think of Elf.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that.
But
in a second.
I think it'll come down to a matter of preference. Like if you really are going into this expecting a superhero like action movie, you're probably going to be disappointed because I would say most of the entertainment in this comes out of comedy. Like it comes out of the fun and games elements. Seeing this, it comes out of more of the origin story elements, not necessarily like, the fighting.
But my thing was, if you're going to bother to do that, don't like half-ass it and that's almost like a shame. That's almost a shame to me because I thought the comedy stuff and the family element, and, the heart of the film or whatever, that was all handled really well. Mm-hmm. Because that was one thing I was worried about when I saw the early reviews. It has lots of heart. I'm like, great. Mm-hmm. I was hoping it wasn't something like heavy-handed, but they handled it well.
Yeah, and it was something that was different. And I guess that's true, and I think that's what I mean where it comes down to a matter of preference. Because I would have I guess with this kind of movie, because I guess I'd never realized what I was going in this for. Is I didn't even really know the Shazam story. So
you didn't know about the wizard or anything?
Well, I mean, I knew that, but like I wanted to see that story on screen more so than I wanted to see him beat ass. And I'm always that's not saying I never want to see him beat ass. It's just I want to see I'm not going to hold the sequel to that same standard. It's like, all right, guys, we've already done this whole character development thing. We can get a couple of fight scenes in here. You know what I mean? With the sequel. So for this, I was more so looking more towards, I want to see this story told well. I would rather have them half-ass the action than the story. You know what I mean?
No, and that's why I'm saying overall it worked.
Yeah, and it again, preferentially speaking, I wasn't so bothered by it. But you are right. It's not as far as the DCEU goes.
No, I know. I'm just an action fiend.
No, and I agree though. Like if we're putting this up against Aquaman, it's like, come on.
Well, see, that's
There's a scene where like a giant turtle fights a crab and shit.
That's what I mean. But at the same time, there you go. That one had opposite problems. Like some of the story was shitty. Like the love story was horrible or whatever. Mm-hmm. So overall, I thought this was a pretty solid movie. And you know what? There's one thing I'll give it huge props for. This might have been because I didn't see the second trailer. They actually bothered to surprise you with something.
Yeah, specifically with jokes and certain plot reveals. Like there's a joke that we won't spoil, but there's a joke in the trailer. But there's a joke in the trailer that they add a flourish to it in the movie that they don't show in the trailer. I'm like, oh, you didn't show the whole joke in the fucking trailer.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Exactly.
But
all right.
I'd also like to give a special shout out to, I would say, the MVP of this movie.
Oh, Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi, yeah.
He fucking killed it. He was so good.
He was fucking unbelievably good, and I was shocked because I already knew, like, okay.
I 100% bought it, like the fact, because that's something oftentimes, like on like science fiction shows that are kind of quirky when people trade places, you're pretty aware that it's just the actor doing an impression. And in this case,
the timing. The cadence of the way he talks, it's like he sounds like a kid. And he's having such a fun time, and he is every bit of why this movie's watchable. Like that that's the moment for me. Like as soon as he shows up, like that's like Diana showing up in London. I was like, here we fucking go.
Right.
So that is what made this for me.
Yeah, he was really fantastic. Let's give a shout out Jaimin Hansu.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's not really in this movie that much. And
no.
I kind of was. I mean, I didn't expect him to have a huge role, but it's like, man, well, wish there's a little more of him.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that in spoilers, but, you know, he kills it as usual.
Yeah, he's good. And as much as I have problems with the tonal sort of collapse between these two elements, I like Mark Strong. Like, he was having fun.
Yeah, I mean, he was fine. It's just...
It's, like, better than Steppenwolf. I even thought he was,
beats
like...
the shit out of Steppenwolf.
He even had a couple of moments where I'm like, oh, shit, Mark Strong. You're doing this? Okay. It was fun.
Yeah.
It's good to see him pal around.
So overall, we thought it was pretty solid. Now, do you want to move on to spoilers?
Let's do it. Let's break the seal.
All right, here we go. So, the main, I guess, thing, or I guess the main element of the story that wasn't really teased all that much, but of course, if maybe you've read the comics or whatever, you knew. The Marvel family.
Or if you saw the toys.
Sorry, not the Marvel. Whatever, the Shazam League.
Yeah, there you go.
The Shazam family.
Got some Mary Marvel. We got all of them.
Yeah, we got all of them.
I guess that follows in the footsteps of the New 52 version.
Right. So now there's like 6 of them or whatever. So all the foster kids turn into adult versions of themselves as these superheroes.
Yeah.
The one I thought was weird is the one actress, I can't remember her name. She plays Mary.
Oh, yeah,
She's already like 25.
Yeah, so it's just like she was like pretty like old as is, so they just aged her up a little bit. But I will say it looked kind of like an older version of the actress. Like
that's why I was getting confused. I'm like, is that her again? That's what I thought. I'm like, isn't that just her again? I don't know.
It was a different thing. I was like, oh, no,
I mean, like they both look like, you know, like 25-ish.
Yeah, it was crazy. Megan Good is the older version of Darla.
I was gonna say out of the older versions, that was probably the standout.
Ah, man, that cracked me up.
Well, because that's just so funny too. Like, because she was, you know, I think it's easier to pretend to be 14 than it is to be like whatever. How old Darla is? Like 8, 9.
Yeah, maybe even younger, like 6 or 7. Yeah. But like, I really enjoyed that element because it added a new dynamic to the ending scene, which I thought, by and large, it was, like you said, it was like a little too by the numbers.
See, here's where I kind of fucking dismantle my compliment. That was also, it was cool, but then it was immediately shitty right after, because it was a cool touch to do that and to really genuinely surprise you. And like, yeah, I saw the toys too. I'm like, fuck. But it doesn't matter. There was a chance that if you just saw the first trailer, you wouldn't have any fucking clue about this.
Yeah, could you imagine?
I still wasn't even sure that. I'm like, maybe it'll be a post credits. The point was they genuinely delivered something interesting.
Yeah.
However, the fight scene or whatever. No, see that's when you get into your PG style tussle. Although I could say you could argue that about the toy store fight a little bit too.
See, that was the fight I liked. Yeah. I'm like, all right, this setting is funny, you know?
Right, a toy store.
It's a one-sided fight.
That's what I'm saying.
But I like the idea of it.
Right, but and there was more dynamically interesting happening and interacting with that environment. Right. This was just like, oh, you could have just green screened anything, and we're just gonna lock arms and tussle. But like, there's nothing going on in the fight, like choreography that looked interesting, and they didn't use the environment. Like, hit someone with the fucking Ferris wheel or something. Like, well, I don't know. Use the environment.
Right. It's interesting because it harkened back. This movie, in my opinion, harkened back to a lot of the classical like superhero films, like the Richard Donner Superman films, because a lot of the action of this was people getting saved by Shazam and the Shazamily. It wasn't a lot of punching or beating up. It was, oh shit, here this Ferris wheel's falling over. Oh shit, this bus is gonna fall.
Oh, the classic like Superman.
Yeah, there's a lot of saving people. I'd say the ratio of people getting saved action scenes versus people getting their ass beaten, it's like halvesies almost.
No, which is fine, and that's actually one of my favorite sight gags in the whole movie. I'm like, this is good. This is. Yes, let's do something different for a laugh or for whatever, for spectacle.
Which one?
When he accidentally electrocutes the bus wheel.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's trying to put the bus down.
Yeah,
and the dog just won't move. Yeah, the dog just won't move. That shit was hilarious. And I said, this is funny. This is like something that hasn't been done 100 times. This is something unique.
Speaking
of
funny bits, the bit I was talking about that wasn't spoiled in the trailers was the part where they're at the convenience store and they give the gun back to the fucking...
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
Exactly.
Like, that's funny.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you for not spoiling that in the trailer. Right. That's so funny.
That's what I'm saying. Do something different. And there was none of that in the action scenes. It was all just... There's a point where the kid was watching Dr. Savannah and Shazam fighting, and he's like smashing his action figures together. I felt like... That seems like about the thought that went into the action sequences.
It kind of felt like a rehash of the Zod,
but not as good.
Yeah.
What pisses me off is it almost felt like, remember, people complained about destruction. You mean what would happen if these fucking nuclear rocket style people were launching at each other?
Right.
See, that's shit would get... blown
up and beaten up. That's why I like the scene where, it was that, but they were fighting, in the mall. They were just, punching through, it reminded me a little bit of, the Aquaman scene where the guy was busting through all those walls for no reason.
Yeah.
And we're following from the back. I'm like, all right, we're at least changing setting every 5 minutes, and he's throwing, fucking toys at him and shit. That's funny.
That's what I'm saying. Use your environment. Do something unique with it.
Right.
I mean, the fact that you have superheroes throwing each other around should only make it more spectacular. I mean, think about what Jackie Chan does with movies that are just regular people. You give Jackie Chan a fucking aluminum ladder and a rake, and he's like, oh, got 1,000 ideas for a fight scene.
Yeah.
This, you have, not Jackie Chan at your helm, but you've got superheroes who have crazy abilities. Do something a little more exciting than... Ooh, we're just going to charge at each other and punch a couple times.
Yeah, I agree. I think the action does take a bit of a back seat for most of the movie.
Right, and the other action part that I thought sucked, the 7 sins, man, they were just whatever. They're so generic.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I heard a lot of bitching about it, and I was like, I don't know.
What? Okay.
It was. I feel the way I feel about the Chitauri with them. It's like, okay. Fine.
No,
whatever.
But I mean, I guess the Chitauri is kind of a fair comparison, except there's 1,000 Chitauri. There's 7 of them.
I was more focused on Savannah than I was the 7 deadly sins or whatever.
But I thought that was the absolute worst fight scene. anything involving not Shazam, like the other super Captain Marvel, Jesus Christ, sorry. Mary Marvel and all of them, whatever their names are. It's just so confusing because he's also Captain Marvel, but he's not Marvel's Captain Marvel. Jesus Christ, what a mouthful. Sucking Abacus.
Jaimin Hansu in 2 technically Captain Marvel movies.
Right. No, but okay, whatever. The Shazamly. That's what I'm just going to call him now.
The Shazamly.
The Shazamly fighting the Seven Sins, none of that was cool. And you know what I realized? That partially might have been a story thing. Like Darla and like, what's his name, Pedro?
Yeah.
Like, they don't know how to throw punches and shit. You know, Billy is a street toughian or whatever, so he knows. But
stole a cop car at the beginning of the movie.
It's still, like, couldn't you just figure it out? Like, Hulk doesn't throw graceful punches. He's kind of, like, he just chucks knucks, you know?
Yeah.
He just likes to throw hands. I don't know. I just thought the 7 Deadly Sins, particularly, they weren't doing a lot for me. I mean, they were serviceable, but I'm saying the only reason I point out that I felt like they're kind of weak sauce is
in relation to the fight scenes.
In relation to what we'd already gotten. It's like, okay, I thought, oh shit, we're going to get 7 Shazams. Now shit's going to go down, and it just barely does.
I much more appreciated the Savannah stuff, even though I did feel as though it was from a different movie. Going back to that beginning scene, it's such a weird scene, but like,
Doesn't that remind you a little bit of Jamie Foxx in Amazing Spider-Man 2? A little bit.
How so?
Well, like, you're a little sympathetic with him.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he's like fucking 5. He doesn't know not to reach for the thing that's, you know, the thing that's like tempting him.
Yeah. I liked the Savannah stuff. Like, I thought it felt like a bit from a different movie, but I liked it. I thought Mark Strong was having fun. The first scene is so weird because the movie we get after it is so vastly different from what's proposed. Imagine reading that first scene as a script.
Yeah.
That'd be like, holy fuck, this is good. But it kind of just doesn't work. Like, there are parts of it that do, like, but some of the child acting is suspect, and some of the lines are like, am I supposed to laugh at this? Yeah.
I think part of the problem with that is you're kind of expecting this movie about fantasy and these wizards and what's their deal? Where'd they come from? Who's Jaimin Hansu? Why does he need to do any of this? And that's kind of what gets narratively lost behind the superhero meets big element.
Right.
Is that, and that's what I meant earlier when I was saying it feels like Dr. Savannah, his whole thing is like they're kind of playing second fiddle as a plot. You don't really understand his goals. He needs to kill this champion. To what end?
Yeah,
like, oh, I need to take over the world. Like, he doesn't really say that or anything.
I definitely got where he was coming from. Like, I like the stuff where he's saying, like, you basically didn't believe in me. Like, what do you think that does to a kid? And I'm like, interesting.
But that's like another thing that scene, you know, they kind of allude to it a little bit, but the whole idea of the temptation versus doing the right thing. Like, you know how when Shazam summons him, like, grab the staff. Or you can take this thing that makes you an evil dick. And releases the 7 deadly sins. So, like, they kind of do that in, like, a different way, and that's Billy learning to not be selfish.
Yeah, he gives up his powers.
Right.
Divvies them out.
But, I mean, at the same time, I just feel like that wizard stuff felt secondary.
Yeah, I agree with you in that it's not all of it totally flows together.
Right. Now I remember what I was going to say. Also, that cave thing, that cave place, I thought they should have had a final fight there. Or at least part of it. Because there's a moment in it where it's just Goonies for about a minute.
It feels like it. Like, how do we get out of here, guys?
Yeah, for a minute and a half. But then, that's it. We're done.
Yeah. Now we're at the
I thought they were going to do all sorts of more crazy shit while they were down there. And they go back to the carnival, which is a decent scene to have a fight scene at. I thought it was like a kind of cool looking place, but they didn't really end up utilizing it all that well.
There are a couple scenes where he's, you know, getting drowned in the ice pool, and there's a scene where he gets knocked into a what do you call it, concession stand, or a what do you call those, like carnival game stands.
I mean, but that's like your garden variety way to
I mean, it's not the best part.
It's just like with, you know, the Ferris wheel. I thought you could have like fucking hit him with it or something. I also thought like for sure they were gonna do a thing, Freddy. Oh, hey guys who bullied me, and then just like let him fall and then catch him or something.
Well, he gives them the wedgie. What do they call it?
whatever, lawnmower wedgie, whatever the fuck it's called.
Some sort of,
Also, the scene with Billy's mom where you learn that she sucks. Mm-hmm. I thought they could have handled it differently. No, I'm kidding. It was fine.
I love that scene.
I like that because it was like a break from predictability. It's always, she's dead. We loved her. It's like, no, she sucks.
She's right up. She's a bus stop away.
Yeah, and you know what? It's okay, Billy, because you have a new family.
Oof,
but I think the scene was missing that really could have driven it home. When she answers the door, it's like, Mom, just like pukes on him. What the fuck do you want? She's like pulling out syringes.
Oh god. But yeah, I like that scene, man.
She just has one syringe. Like, there's some left. Hold on. just fucking falls back and faints.
Cuts back to Billy. He's already been gone for 5 minutes.
And she wakes up like an hour, like 10 hours later. Yeah, what'd you want?
Did I dream that? No, I love that fucking scene because I'm like, all right, this is how I know this movie's like got its head on its shoulders. That one line where he goes, he gives it a fucking compass and he's like, "You need this more than me." I'm like,
I thought that was one of the.
Mom.
It's one of those good lines.
I like that.
I like a good line. What's the word? Accompanying a MacGuffin.
Yeah, for
you need
sure.
this more than I do.
God, yeah, fucking mom. The meatloaf. God damn it.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. In closing, do you have any other thoughts, or are you ready to close out?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much ready to go. So I'm gonna score this just because lack of inventive action was a problem for me. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna score this 3.5 out of 5.
I'm not too much further ahead of you, actually. Again, as much as I loved Zach Levi and the performances and the humor was really good and the heart was like great, I'd say this is kind of like one of the more emotionally like impactful movies since like Man of Steel. Like it's probably this Wonder Woman and then Man of Steel.
Eek.
I mean,
I'm just saying, them's is fighting words, as we are the only two human beings apparently on Earth who really liked Man of Steel.
Well, yeah, of course, but I would say beyond that, there are some definite problems with the lack of actions there, but also I think tonally speaking, this movie could have had a couple of polishes.
Yeah,
like
a little
with the
bit.
script with some scenes, but I'm super down for whatever's the future for this character. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm probably going to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5.
So not much further ahead of you.
All right, so that'll do it. Except for the fact that, what the fuck was up with that caterpillar?
Oh, Mr. Mind?
Oh, is that who that is?
He's a character. I'm like, oh shit, here comes The Rock with that.
Oh, I was fucking like, so pissed. I was like, this better be The Rock.
But it wasn't.
Excite me, Hollywood. Really, really surprised me. Nope, psych.
Did you
can't have two surprises?
Did you stay greedy? Did you stay for both post-credit scenes?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because
there's one that's like in a TV spot.
Which one?
The Aquaman thing.
I didn't see that.
Oh.
I didn't even know. I thought there was just gonna be the Mr. Mind one, and I almost got up to leave, and then I turned to my right.
What's the other one?
The Aquaman one.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, I better stay. And it was funny. They're good post-credit scenes, but if you don't know what the fuck Mr. Mind is, I was
very who the fuck is he?
He's just a villain that teams up with Savannah later.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was expecting Black Adam. I was like, oh, here we fucking go, Dwayne.
I was so ready, but I'm like, you know what? They already surprised me once with the Shazam lead. They're not going to surprise me twice. Not possible.
Yeah, they almost did it 3 times with Henry Cavill, but it wasn't Henry
Cavill.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, oh, my fucking gosh. But, I was like, they're not going to show him.
I thought it was funny.
It's funny. Way. I'm like, they worked around the dispute. We'll show him from the neck cut off. Funny.
Yeah.
It was good, though. I liked it.
Yo, Mr. Banjo in the next one, or get the fuck out.
I want that Santa back, man. I want that cussing Santa back.
Yeah, that guy was pretty funny. So that'll do it for our review of Billy Batson and the Shazam League.
Thank you for listening to Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. I'm Robert.
And I'm Alex.
If you want to keep up to date with our latest episodes, clips, and reviews, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Bonus Features with Alex and Robert, and also check us out at our Facebook and SoundCloud.
Got questions, qualms, concerns, suggestions? Let us know by leaving us a comment. So as always, till next time.